Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Replay, the ultimate video game replay podcast. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend Skyler.
We're gonna take you for a ride.
We're gonna take you for a ride. This week, we're talking about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. It's a pretty big one, pretty influential fighting game, but Skyler, of course, you know, before we get talking about this here game, we have to go back.
Gotta go back.
It's time for the rewind. Okay. Guess what? It's June 27th of the year 2000. It's a Tuesday, and it is the day after Kirby came out. It's tomorrow.
We're hitting a lot of road stops here in June.
Lot of one. Hey, and the next two games we're playing, they're the next 2 days. So
yeah, coming out tomorrow, yeah.
This week, a busy week, it turned out. But also, on this day, I see clearly, on the 27th, Sum 41 dropped their first ever album. It was called Half Hour of Power, and I listened to it today. It's not very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not feeling Sum 41.
I mean, I like Sum 41. Just not this one.
What was the hit on this album?
Oh, brother, I couldn't tell you. I listened to the whole thing, and I don't know which one was supposed to be the important one.
Darn.
Yeah, it was not terrible or anything. It was just like very generic 90s pop punk, and like that's what they are, but you know, they had a couple of big hits and they weren't on this album. The rest of the Billboard, which they're not on, is exactly the same as yesterday, with Be With You by Enrique Iglesias being number 1, and of course our boy Real Slim Shady, Eminem, at number 4.
Okay.
Me, Myself, and Irene is holding down the number 1 spot in the box office still. I actually broke this one down by day, and guess what? Still there. But maybe the biggest news, which doesn't take much because we don't have a ton to cover here this week, is we have the birthdays of not 1, but 2 Spider-Men.
Whoa. 2 Spider-Man birthdays in June? Let me guess.
Yep.
One's definitely Tom Holland.
Incorrect. Right out the gate, we're wrong immediately.
I would have assumed it was him because he probably was just born on this day.
Maybe. I actually don't know how old he is. I think he's older than he looks, which doesn't take a ton, I guess. No. Today is Tobey Maguire's 25th birthday.
25.
He's already
25-year-old P.D. Parker.
Which means right now he's 50. In real timeline, he's 50 years old. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Makes sense.
It's a little crazy though.
In a way, we're all 50.
Yeah, emotionally I'm 50. And our other spider person is Drake Bell.
Oh, okay. It's a twist. It was a curveball.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. He's turning 14.
14-year-old Drake Bell.
This is, of course, before Drake and Josh.
Yeah, we're in Amanda Show era Drake Bell.
Probably. Yeah, actually. I would imagine so. So this is before all the troubles.
Yeah. He's got a rough time of it ahead of him. So
he's also going to do some bad things. He is both victim and abuser, I believe.
That's true. That's a little. He's got a rough time of it ahead of him.
It's going to be a rough 25 years. I think he's doing better now, but it's going to be a rough 25 years. Skyler, that's all I've got. We were just here yesterday, and we're gonna be here tomorrow. So I don't got a lot.
We've already covered some, and we gotta save some.
We gotta save some. There's just not a lot.
Time to just jump right into the nitty gritty of it.
It turns out that one of the only things happening in June of the year 2000 was video games,
which is cool. That's why we're here.
True. So hey, we're playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the New Age of Heroes. It just came out on the Dreamcast. It is, despite being called Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it is the 4th game in this franchise.
Yeah.
Behind, let's see if I didn't write them down, and I should have. Marvel vs. Street Fighter, and then I think a second Marvel vs. Street Fighter.
Isn't it X-Men versus Street Fighter?
You're right.
Like
it's X-Men versus Street Fighter, then Marvel versus Street Fighter, then Marvel versus Capcom, then Marvel 2. So
yeah.
So that's so hey,
but
you could argue
staying true to your roots, more than like 60% of this roster is both X-Men and Street Fighter. So,
Yeah, it's the overwhelming majority is X-Men. Uh, it is a 4 button hyper fighter. We'll get into what that means a little bit later. It's if you're thinking of a fighting game, this is just one of those. Except that you instead of picking one character, you pick 3 characters, and those are your 3 different health bars for the fight, and you can swap between them. And they also have like little assist moves that they can do when they jump in. So that honestly, that's the whole game. That's the whole game. That's what you do. Skylar, how did you top level thoughts? How you feeling about Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
well, I gotta hit you with the caveat
Okay.
that we gotta just cover our bases and say no, fighting games aren't our thing. No, we're not good at fighting
No,
games.
I
I'm
actually
sorry
hate
that
fighting
there's
games. I think.
I'm so, I'm s- I'm sorry that there's so many fighting games that we've
Yeah.
really put ourselves in the position of talking about. We just talked about like 3 of them.
We just talked about Street Fighter 1, 2, 3. We talked about Dead or Alive. Almost said Dead Rising. That's a couple years away.
Mm.
Uh, and now this one, we're really hitting all the bases as far as like fighting games go. We need to hit like a Mortal Kombat and a Tekken, and we're in there.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yes, we don't play a lot of them. We're not good at them. We may or may not like them. We've come away fairly positively on the ones we've already covered, but that's because we're
Yeah,
covering like some of the best ones ever.
yeah.
Really?
I would say like low positive, but definitely on the
Yeah.
high, like higher half.
And this one's gonna stay the same. I mean, for me, anyways. This one is in in the vein that I feel that you and I come in looking for, where it be like story or character or
Mhm.
whatever. This is probably the most stripped back one we've played this year, fighting games.
I don't know. I think it's kind of on par with the Street Fighter ones, to be honest. I
Oh
mean,
well, yeah, true.
more character, maybe less story, but
Street Fighter. Yeah, if you're looking at story, well, especially the first one, which is just you punch guys and then you punch the last guy.
yeah,
But we didn't review that one super well. And then
no, there wasn't much
eventually,
to say about it.
yeah, Street Fighter kind of gets carried by, uh, especially like Street Fighter 2 gets carried by character design, and those
Hmm.
memorable guys.
I think
And
this
this
one.
one, yeah, what were you gonna say?
I think this one's probably kind of the same. I do know. Okay, I do know that MVC2 is
Hmm.
one of the most popular fighting games of all time. But what I
Hmm.
also know is that
Hmm.
people who love this game do
Hmm.
also say that it's bad. So I don't know
Oh,
where that leaves us.
hmm.
Like I wanted to know more about this game because I wanted to have more interesting things to say than we usually have about fighting games, and I got some stuff. Don't worry, I got some stuff for us. But when I tell
So,
you that I watched multiple documentaries about this game, and when I tell you every motherfucker who went pro on this game is like, and it is broken.
okay, okay. So my surface level thought is like this plays different than the other fighting games that we've played. Street Fighter is all about pulling off the combos, and Dead or Alive 2 is about I don't even know, staying alive. I don't really remember. This one, there's we've reached a point where it's just like when you're in the character selection screen and it hits you with all these bonus questions and I'm
Oh my god,
like
yeah.
I don't right off the bat I'm like I don't know what this means and I'm not going to bother to find out. We're just going to go.
My first maybe hour with this game, I was so overwhelmed.
Mm,
There's 56 characters. Every time you pick one, you have to pick one of 3 different assist types that they can have,
yeah.
because you'll pick one and it'll be like, do you want projectile assists, dash assists, or whatever. Well, one says like expansion assists, and I don't know what that one means. I even tried to look it up and it seemed like it was inconclusive. So kind of there's 3 times 56. I'm not going to do the math, but kind of that many characters if you want to be like real specific about it. So
Hmm.
there's a lot going in on this one.
Yeah, when you're a little kid, you're a little baby boy
Hmm.
and you go to a public pool and you stay in the shallow end, and then there's the deep end.
You have successfully described a pool. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, hang on, because I'm not done.
Okay, I'll let you cook.
the The deep end is like playing Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter online, where you're gonna get cooked because the
Right.
people who play
Yeah.
online know what they're doing. I think Marvel vs. Capcom. I get the impression, anyways. This is how I see it. It's not even just the deep end. It's like the Olympic pool, where it's like deeper than deep.
Oh
Like
my god.
you're gonna, if your 4-year-old goes in that, he's gonna die.
Did you play online at all?
No,
Okay, okay,
no,
okay.
no,
I thought that's what you
no.
were saying. Because, yeah, no, this game, people don't fuck around with this game anymore. So, this game, you got to be like real good if you're going to play online at all, or you're going to get bodied immediately. Because what you're going to see when you play online is you're going to be scrolling through the 56 characters trying to pick who you want to play, and somebody in the blink of an eye is going to pick
Yeah.
Sentinel Storm Magneto or something in like
Mm-hmm.
1 second, and you're gonna be like, well,
Mm-hmm.
time to die.
Yeah, that's they know who their mains are. No, when it comes to the intricacies of like fighting game play style, that's all over my head. That's above my pay grade. I'm not going to be judging it off of that. I can go by what characters I think are cool and how fluid I feel the game actually plays. And this, I think playing this game feels good.
Yeah.
Feels as good as any other, like Street Fighter 3 felt good, and this feels about as good as that, I think. And then obviously there's a shit ton of characters to choose from, which is cool. A lot of X-Men and a lot of Street Fighter, but you know
Mm-hmm.
what? X-Men and Street Fighter are both kind of neat, and they chose some of the cooler characters, and then also like Marrow's here.
Mero exists, is character.
Um, yeah. So on the Marvel side, you get a lot of the usual suspects. A lot of the cool X-Men, Psylocke, Magneto, two different Wolverines,
Right. Which,
Juggernaut.
and do you know why? So, do you know
Yeah,
why there's two Wolverines?
I did look into that. And yeah, so
It's really
what
stupid.
one of the Wolverines is, well, one is Bone Claw and one is Adamantium. That is like the
That's the
what it
difference.
is.
But they chose to not make them look visually different
No,
almost
not
at
really.
all.
Yeah. And they play almost pretty much exactly the same with a few slight differences. The thing I read said like the Bone Claw one or the original, I don't remember which one, but one of
Original
them
recipe.
is the original recipe from a previous game, like the Street Fighter versus X-Men.
That would make sense.
And so like he plays like that, and then the other one is tweaked, but it
Yeah.
wasn't tweaked enough for me to notice. So,
So, apparently the reason there's two Wolverines
mhm.
is because Capcom wanted to use Bone Claw Wolverine, and Marvel mandated, they're like, no, you're gonna, if you can use Bone Claw, but if you do, you have to use both. You have to have Adam, like Metal Claw original recipe, I guess, Wolverine.
And because we weren't in a position to have all these guys have like swappable skins, even though there are different like color
There
palettes
are
that they
different
can
colors,
switch to.
which took me a while to figure out how to get the default color, because you pick it by when you select your character, you can hit any of the face buttons to pick the character. And
Uh
for some reason, neither on the Xbox controller I was playing on, neither A nor B are the default color. For some reason, X is the default color.
oh, so you know what? I never figured that out, and
Okay.
I went with whatever color it was given me. I didn't really put up a fight.
I needed to know because I was like, how come every time I'm picking Storm, she's made of solid gold? What's happening?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So, like we said, we got a bunch of X-Men's usual suspects. Silver Samurai's cool here, that's cool. The Sentinels here, that's neat. And then you get the classic guys, which are like the A-listers now, but back then they weren't. But
Right.
your classic crew that you would find walking around a Universal Studios, like Captain America or
Captain America, Iron Man, Spider Man. You get like those big
Spider-Man,
ones. You're definitely missing
Hulk.
some of the current big ones. You don't got a Thor.
No, no
Uh,
one cared about Thor back then.
but and then in replacement, for some reason, you have both, not just Iron Man, but also War Machine, and then you
Yeah,
got like Omega Red. Who the fuck cares about Omega Red? And then
people care.
Shuma Gorath.
Okay.
Do not tell me
Go
people
on.
care about Shumagorath. I will come to your house.
I'm not going to tell you people care about Shumagorath. I'm going to say I think he's cool, and he was one of the more fun guys to play in
Oh, I
this
bet.
game.
I think I
But
played him like once.
I'm not going to say that people care.
I don't, there's
Uh,
a guy on the Marvel
I'll
side.
say people probably care more about Shumagorath than they do about Blackheart.
I was about to
Random.
say I don't even know who that is.
He's a Ghost Rider villain.
Couldn't have told you that. Could not have told you that. To be fair,
Um,
I wouldn't have known who Shumagorath was if not for the fact that he was in this, because I played some of these before and he's in a couple of them.
I knew who Shumagorath was not necessarily because of this, although I did know he was in this. But he's so Shumagorath is and is not in the Doctor Strange sequel movie,
Right.
the Multiverse
Yeah.
of Madness, but because of like licensing rights, like they can't call him Shumagorath anymore. So they give him a different name, and maybe technically he's a different guy, but he's not. He's the same guy
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the Marvel side makes a lot of sense. It is
for the
almost,
most part.
yeah. For the most part, it's a lot of X-Men characters, and then it's like largely people who make sense. Like you expect a Hulk, you expect Captain America. There's a couple weird ones. The Capcom side
Uh huh.
is wild.
It's odd. It's very odd.
Yeah, and now to be fair, a lot of the games that me and you think of when we think of Capcom at this point
Uh huh.
don't really exist. Like Resident
True.
Evil right now, we're up to 3, and 3 just came out, so that's not going to get a
Hmm.
representatives in this game.
We do have Jill
We
on
got
the
Jill.
roster who is wearing her Resident Evil 1 gear, her beret and stuff, and she's probably my favorite person on the Capcom side to play as. I liked playing as her.
Oh, okay, all right. I played as her a couple of times, but I didn't think she was particularly good. But I'm glad. I mean, that's cool. She's not one of the ones that like gets like competitive play.
No, I
Um,
mean I'm not. That's not what I'm here for.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, but yeah, so we got a lot of Street Fighters, right? We got Ryu, we got Ken. Did I need
Yeah.
both of them? No. We got Dan. Why the fuck do we have Dan? But we got
Uh-huh.
Dawson, Zangief, Akuma, a lot of the World Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Basically, if there's like a big name guy in Street Fighter, I would say 60% chance they're in here. Cammy's in there, Chun
Cammy,
Li.
Chun Li,
No
M
Blanca though.
Bison.
That's kind of a bummer.
No Blanca. Yeah.
But then you've got like a bunch of people from Darkstalkers, which makes sense. It's another fighting game franchise, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Although
A
I don't know
handful
who
of
the
these
fuck Anakaris is. He's from that, but I don't know who that is.
a handful of these Darkstalkers guys like debuted in either like this game or a previous like the Street Fighter versus X-Men or Capcom versus X-Men thing.
Well,
Like they like debuted in different fighting games that
right.
aren't
So
whatever.
I don't. I'm relatively confident that none of them are new characters to this one, but both Anakaris and Felicia, this is their first appearance in an MVC title.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've both been, I
Well,
believe, in Darkstalkers games before. Morrigan was in the first one, so she's not new.
okay.
But the other two I think are new to this, because so there's only 10 new characters to the franchise in here, and they are Marrow, who we made fun of
Right.
earlier, Cable, who's
Yes.
real good,
I like Cable.
Amingo, the cactus guy, Ruby
Yeah.
Heart, the pirate
Oh, I'm
girl,
familiar with Amingo.
Anakaris and Felicia, who we just talked about, Tronbon and Servbot from Mega Man, Sun and Jill Valentine. Those are your 10 new characters that have not appeared in this fighting game franchise before. However, 2 of them, arguably 3, depending on who you ask, are brand new characters, period, end of story.
Yes. I also went down the Amingo rabbit hole.
Amingo, not a character. He was made
No,
for this. For
he's not
some
in
reason.
anything else.
They said that they made him because they thought that there wasn't a person on the Capcom side who wasn't human but like moved funny. And I was like,
Well,
okay, that's
he does
weird,
do
but
that. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, okay. Ruby Heart, also new. And also the main character of the game.
What? There's a main character?
She's the main character of the game. Uh, and then, depending on who you ask, the monkey girl, Sun, who's based on Sun
Yeah.
Wukong,
Yes.
might be new because she is supposed to be, depending on who you ask, either a gender swapped version of a different character from like a ancient Capcom game, or that character's daughter. So like, who knows? But yeah,
Also, I
but
want to cover my base really quick. Earlier,
yeah,
when I said that there were ones that like debuted in whatever, I was misreading the thing because the wiki, when it says game debut, it was telling me what game it debuted in this series. Of course, that makes
that
sense.
makes sense. Yeah. So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Who
Well, first,
who'd you play mostly? Jill,
well,
you
first,
said.
I want to cover Amingo a little bit
Oh,
more
okay.
because
I didn't know there was more to talk about with Domingo.
I read that it's a rumor, an unfounded rumor perhaps, but a
Yeah,
rumor
I think I know what
that
you're gonna say.
he's was originally a character planned for like some game that they were gonna do that got canceled, and then
True. That
they
rumor,
just he's just been around.
yeah, that is a rumor. It, I believe has not been confirmed one way or the other, and is
Right.
also true of Ruby Heart.
She was supposed to be in a different thing.
Apparently, at one point they did a thing where they were like, "She's the daughter of these two characters from a different ancient Capcom arcade game," and but I reading the interview where that came out, it does feel like somebody asked and they said, "Sure." It's one of those situations.
Oh, it is the little boy in Iron Man 2, Peter Parker.
Exactly the same
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Maybe. Why not?
but she is the main character. So the story that doesn't exist in this game but does get told later in a book, I guess, is that after the events of Marvel vs. Capcom 1, which is basically we just beat up Magneto, I think,
Uh-huh.
the monster from the end of the arcade mode, Abyss, wakes up. Ruby Heart finds out that he exists, and then she goes and gets all the heroes. They fight for a minute, decide not to, and then go and kill Abyss. And that's the whole story. But that's why when you
Cool.
win, the like slideshow is on Ruby Heart's boat because she's the main character, I guess. By
Oh.
just the thinnest of margins, she is the main character of this game.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess
That's
she's got
fun.
that going for her. I did like her a lot. I actually played her quite a bit until I found out who the good characters were. But
Uh,
she's not bad. She's got some good stuff. She's got that one move. I'm sure they got names, but I couldn't be bothered to tell you what it is. But she's got one where she creates like a geyser that's like a certain amount of distance away, and it seems to have like no build up. Like you just hit the button and it happens. So it's real good. It is real good. They
hmm
can't get out of that one.
hmm
Big fan.
Um, all right, so you asked who I'm playing as,
Yeah.
and I that's a good question.
If you're picking,
I
if you're
mean,
picking your three right now to fight me, who are you picking?
oh, okay. Well, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain that won't allow me to pick like mix and match Marvel and Capcom because it's Marvel versus Capcom. So I'm either picking three Marvel characters or three Capcom characters. Does this
Okay.
make sense?
It
Does this
do-
make sense to you?
it does. It was not true for me, but it
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay. Um, so if I'm going Marvel side, I'll probably go Thanos,
Ooh,
Shumagorath because he's wibbly wobbly.
wibbly wobbly.
And then Cable's good. I really like Cable.
Well, who were you playing? Who did you play the arcade mode through as?
I don't remember. It took a couple tries,
It's fair.
and I was like handing the controller off to my brother occasionally as well.
Fair enough.
Every time we have to play fighting games, I'm always like, "All right," to my brother. I'm like, "Let's go play this," because I feel like I picked Venom a bunch.
Okay. I don't think he might have been one of the characters that like pretty much. I mean, I played as everyone at least once. I think I
Yeah,
only played as him that one time.
right.
Just he just evaded me.
So I'll go Venom, Thanos, Shumagorath on the Marvel side,
Okay.
and then on the Capcom side, you could see.
Jill,
Okay, listen.
you're
Yes,
you're
okay.
you're dragging this one.
We're because you're gonna see where I'm going here. I'm going Jill.
It's gonna be all ladies with big butts. It's gonna be
No,
all
no, no,
ladies with
no.
big butts.
No, here's where the swerve comes in,
Uh
or the
huh.
serve, should I say? Because I'm going Servbot,
Oh. Okay.
and then I'm genuinely gonna take Amingo.
I
Genuinely.
okay. Look, until you said Amingo,
Uh-huh.
you had said exclusively characters that I hate playing as.
Okay.
Like actively will hate playing as Thanos. Jill's like okay, Surfbot terrible.
Well, I'm also coming in this like not expecting to win anything.
Well, but you got to beat like the the arcade mode or whatever.
True.
Like you're trying to
True.
win the fight still. I mean, I know it's
And
a
for the
computer, but
and
still.
for the record, I did beat the arcade mode.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
did beat what's his face? Abyss.
Abyss. Yeah.
And his three flavors. Three
His
flavors of Abyss.
right. 3 hours of playtime. That's
Hmm.
not the correct time, but that is probably about how long it took me to beat the arcade mode because I was
Who
really
who
bad at it at first.
who are you playing as in this?
So I beat the arcade mode as Ruby Heart, Captain America, and Cable. That was my team.
Okay.
But I swapped in Cable for the Abyss fight. Up until then, I had been using either Captain Commando or Felicia.
Okay.
So Captain America and Ruby Heart, they were like my mains for the whole time. And I struggled a bit. And then I read online about how poorly balanced this game is, which is why when you watch competitive gameplay of this, what you're gonna see is every single person who is playing at a stage higher than me and my brother split screen or whatever,
Yes, yes.
you're gonna see a combination of Magneto, Storm, Sentinel. Those are the three god tier characters, and then but everyone's picking two of those, and then they're picking a third person who's only good for it being an assist. But even then, there's only like three of those that people actually think are worth a damn, and those are Psylocke, Iron Man, and Cable.
Oh, I see.
So realistically, if you're watching an MVC2 tournament, you're gonna see those characters way more than anybody else. Those are because most of the other characters are actively terrible. I watched there's a guy called Justin Wong who is from my research the most I don't know, historic, the best maybe MVC2 player of all time. It's his jam, baby.
Hmm.
And he does a tier list of characters every year because he still plays it competitively. And there were two things that were always consistent every year. I watched like 3 years, and it was the top tier and the bottom tier. And the top tier was you're gonna have those three characters that I said: Storm, Sentinel, Magneto. Those are that's your bread and butter, baby. And then he did also have like Cable and Iron Man in there at that top tier at one point, but Iron Man kind of bounced back and forth. Cable was in there pretty consistently, and then at the very bottom, he created a new tier every single year just for roll.
Oh, okay.
Because
All
so
right.
apparently roll actually dog shit.
I'll be honest. I didn't mess with Roll at all.
Yeah, I tried her once. Not a huge fan. I put her in a team
I
with BB Hood, the like Robin, sorry,
yeah.
Red Riding Hood character that I don't really know. I actually don't know what she's from.
She's
Um,
from
is she Darkstalkers?
she's from yeah.
I would believe
She's
that.
like an assassin character.
That makes sense. She had guns that I wasn't expecting her to whip out.
Yeah. I liked her. I thought she was cute. I thought
She's
she was
cute.
funny.
Apparently she's a big cause of issue for the game.
Oh.
I think it was that she like literally can break the game, like make it not
Oh.
run in the like older versions of it.
Oh, okay.
I might not
Interesting.
be 100% correct on that, but that's what it seemed like they were saying in the documentary that I was watching. Because so this game had a really rough time with performance. People really liked it when it first came out because it first came out on Dreamcast. And on Dreamcast it worked fine. Dreamcast and arcade, I think it launched either at the same time or pretty much at the same time, and that was a rare situation for fighting games. That doesn't usually happen.
Mm-hmm.
Every subsequent time that they ported it, it was bad. The PS2 version, the Xbox version were really, really bad. Where the PS2 version apparently was like damn near unplayable. And then eventually it got ported to like more modern consoles, like your 360, your PS3. But that was during the era where Fox and Disney were fighting over the Marvel rights. And so it actually
Ooh.
got delisted from modern platforms for a while. And so
Oh.
the game became like unplayable unless you were either emulating it or held on to old Dreamcast version because you're also not playing the PS2 version. It's broken. So eventually in like 2020, when they announced the, was it 2020, 2021, somewhere in there, they announced the Marvel collection that we played.
Yeah.
People freaked out. There's a guy, I sent you the video. There's a video of a guy
Yes.
called Maximilian Dude who he had a whole campaign to try and bring the game back that failed. Just losing his shit when this game came back because it was basically vaporware for like a decade. Like game was just gone. So there's a lot of like history with it where like this got really caught up in the whole argument of like IP rights and ownerships, which is kind of spooky. The fact that like these two companies don't want to see Captain America and Wolverine in the same thing anymore because they own different guys. So they can just
Hmm.
make it so that you can't play the game you bought anymore.
Yeah, that is. We don't like
And
that.
there was a well, okay, if you had it bought, you could still play it, but you couldn't buy a new one.
Right.
That's what delisted means. But it apparently got to a point where there was an Xbox version, a 360 I think version that was it was a physical box that didn't have a disc in it because we were in that era of bullshit. It just had a code in it, but that code wasn't delisted. You could still type that code in after it got delisted and get the game. And so for a minute
Mm.
there, that version of the game was selling for like $300 to $500
Oh wow.
because it was the only way to buy the damn thing.
Lost media.
It was damn near. It was actually lost media for a minute there.
Well,
So
it's cool that it's got a comeback. It's good that it's here and it's available now.
yeah, it. I mean, it was a trial apparently getting this thing to go because also apparently they had to do just like a ton of weird stuff with like what do you call it? Getting like approval from Disney where they weren't
Mm.
just like, hey, is this a good version of the character? Or like you're not making Spider-Man get his dick out or whatever. But they would
Hmm.
be like frame by frame going through every single sprite for every single Marvel character and be like, I don't think that the hand position in this one accurately reflects Spider-Man's web shooter or whatever. And it would cost like a shit zillion dollars to get through this constant approval process.
It's
So
terrible.
yeah, which is probably another reason why this franchise kind of died for a long time until eventually Infinite came out, and then Infinite was ass, and so it died again.
Hmm.
So, so I also said at the beginning that this is a 4-button fighter.
Yeah.
Apparently, what that means is normally on an arcade machine or an arcade stick, if you're nasty, there's 6 buttons. It's light, medium, heavy for punches, and light, medium, heavy for kicks. This game only has light and heavy because they wanted it to be playable on a controller. They wanted the experience that you played on your Dreamcast to be the same as when you played it on the arcade game, basically.
Hmm.
So they had to cut down on how many buttons you were using, which people both loved and hated in different camps because new people were like, oh, this is great. It's a lot more simple. I can play the game. I don't have to worry about it as much. The inputs are easier because you don't have to like do the weird combos of like light and heavy where you're like bridging across this other button. You don't got to mess with that. The fighting game community, however,
Yeah.
was lambasting people who were playing this game at launch, and they were calling them like babies. They were like, "You gotta play like a little baby game. You got 4 buttons, little baby man."
Ooh.
If there's a video game community that is gatekeeping, it is fighting games. No,
Yeah.
second place is 100 miles away.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just wait until we get enough traction, and then the fighting game community finds this very podcast where they hear the people that I played this game as, that you played this game as, and they're gonna tear that apart.
Honestly, I hope so. Leave a comment. Tell us why we suck. Um,
Hmm.
but the community around this game in particular was actually so dirty. They were so dirty. Not necessarily in a bad way. They were just wildly competitive to where there was like a really huge like East Coast versus West Coast rivalry built around this game. Where it was
Ooh.
like Justin Wong on one side, the guy who's like really good basically by himself. He had a couple of people with him that were also good. I think one of them, I wrote his name down, was called Sanford. There were a couple other guys. And then the West Coast was a guy called Duck Doe and Yipes.
Yeah, that's
Those are
it's a
fighting game guys.
classic. If you've ever like looked at speedrun records, everybody's username, everybody's gamer name.
But apparently it got like pretty intense. Not like violent, but like pretty intense where people were like screaming at each other, getting all up in people's faces. People name sort of the culmination of it as this big event where Duck Doe from the West and Sanford from the East came together and had a had a best of 7 over. It was for like I think
Oh,
like sixth $100,000 or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Legendary moment in fighting game history.
And Sanford won.
Ooh.
He beat him 4-7.
Oh, wow.
So canonically, the East Coast is better at MVC2, and you heard it here first. If you're a West Coast MVC2 player,
Mm-mm.
get your shit together.
Forget about it.
You don't got to beat me. You got to beat Justin Wong. Good luck.
Hey, hey, I'm Marvel versus Capcom over here.
Another little fun fact about this game: it was one of the first fighting games to have online play.
The online, which I refuse to do.
Correct, but only in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Only in Japan,
Okay.
because they partnered with a telephone company, which means also only through dial-up.
Ooh.
Which meant because
I
on
would
dial-up you paid per minute, that each game cost
oh,
like each round cost like 13 yen.
I would pay good money. I would pay 13 yen to witness people play this through dial-up.
Apparently it like kind of worked okay. It was mostly the cost that people were upset about, but then people in America, and I assume other places, were really upset that we didn't have access to the online play like at all. So when this East Coast versus West Coast thing started happening, the only reason that it's so well documented is because people would record it on like VHS, and they would carry tapes back and forth to be like, this is that time that Daigo got his ass beat or whatever.
Whoa.
It's genuinely maybe one of the first like fully recorded beefs in history.
Video game beefs.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Truly history.
Yeah. I did think it was fun though. Like, to be honest, I'm not a fighting game guy. In fact, I would say, and I did earlier, I think I might just hate fighting games. I think not only do I not enjoy them, I think
Mhm.
I like actively am revolted by them. I still had fun with this one. I'm never gonna
Mhm.
play it with like people. Uh, but I think it's cool. I think it's got a great roster. I think there's way too much going on all at the same time. I think when you've got 6 characters jumping in and doing shit at the same time, I think my brain shuts down and I can't do that.
Right.
But even despite that, and me not being a fighting game person at all, like I still ended up going back and playing it a couple of times, which I did not do with the Street Fighter games. I did not have
I,
fun with Street Fighter at all.
oh, see, I'm a little opposite. Or I did play Street Fighter a little bit more, and then once I was done with this one, it was kind of just like, yeah, I get it, and I kind of moved on. Granted, we're in the midst of playing like 4 other games right now, but but
Yeah.
but yeah, this one. I mean, I thought it was it was cute. It has the great menu music, which the one track we got the one. That's all we got.
Yeah. So that was actually another weird thing. Pretty consistently, the things that people complained about in reviews for this game was that they hated the weird disconnect between the sprites being 2D and the backgrounds being 3D, which I guess is fair.
I didn't really have an issue with that.
I honestly wouldn't have noticed even.
Right.
Apparently, on the original versions, the character sprites would sometimes just break and not animate correctly, which is fair. It didn't
Mm.
perform very well in a lot of the different versions. And then the fourth thing on my list of consistently hated things was the soundtrack. Everyone fucking hated that soundtrack, with the exception of the character select music, which is the "I Want to Take You for a Ride."
Well, I
Apparently,
mean, it's just a
everybody else
meme.
was like, "This jazz music does not fit a fighting game," and I
Which
don't
is funny.
disagree. I like it,
Oh,
but I don't think it fits
oh,
a fighting game.
you know, I think I do disagree, but I don't know if that's just because of the vibe of this game being in my idea of the fighting game zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like, has that warped my expectations? But I didn't have a problem with it at all, and I thought it was chill and cool.
I liked the character select music, and other than that, it was just like it just felt off. Like the vibe was weird. Like when you're in a game, like in a match, and it's just like almost like smooth jazz going on, you're like, that don't feel
Hmm.
right. Something's off here. Like this should be more intense than it is, and it don't feel that way. It didn't, it wasn't terrible. It didn't, throw me out of it. But when I read those reviews, I was like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's an interesting one. right? Because
It is.
this is sort of an era of Marvel where it's Marvel before the version that we know about, right? Like it's not that we're still years before the MCU, which is where I think a lot of people in the sort of public space started figuring out about these characters.
Well, that's definitely where people started caring about, Iron Man and Hulk. And I mean, Hulk was obviously a bigger name in the nerd space before the MCU, but
More,
Iron
yeah,
Man,
maybe more than
Captain
Iron Man.
America, um, War Machine, you know, Thanos.
Yeah, I,
Like those are only household names now because of the movies.
right.
Whereas
Well,
you had to be a fucking nerd degenerate to know
yeah.
before.
Well, because even the X Men, like this is before the X Men movies. This is
Yeah.
between the two X Men cartoons, so it's before, like, just before X Men Evolution, and then X Men, the original cartoon, ended in like '97 or something, or maybe it was '97 to
hmm
'99, but it was over by now. So it was
hmm
really that would have been most people's experience with those characters, which is probably why somebody like Spiral got into the game. If I had to be, guessing.
Whenever there was a character like a Spiral or a Blackheart, I was like, all right, there was a dev that was just a nerd fan that was like, I want to put them in the game,
Yeah, almost
and
certainly.
and somehow got it past everyone else.
But I think I later games in this franchise, I'm pretty sure all have lower counts of players. I think 56 is insane. I don't think we get that number again.
Pretty big.
Um, and so we do know that to a certain extent. But if you were like pick, what would that be? 25, like 28 characters from Marvel and 28 characters from Capcom. If you
Mhm.
told somebody to pick those characters today, you're getting a 100% different cast. Like, no doubt.
Oh, for sure,
You're still
for
getting
sure.
Captain America and Spider Man and some of them. I'm sure still getting Ryu and probably Chun Li over on the Capcom side, but you're not getting Jill. You're getting Leon. You're not getting Tron Bon. You're getting Frank West or
Mhm.
something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
I
even.
think I would.
There hasn't even been like a Mega Man game in ages. You're not going to get 4 reps from Mega Man.
Mega Man himself will
You'll
definitely
get
be
Mega
there.
Man, but you're not getting Roll. You're sure as shit not getting Servbot.
Oh, but Sir Bot's a little Capcom mascot at this point.
He's cute, but I don't even know if that's true in 2025.
Well,
I
that's
think
just because we need a new Dead Rising game to just put him in.
I do genuinely think at this point people almost certainly more associate Servbot with Dead Rising, which is crazy.
That's that's my cross to bear. But he was all over that first game. Come on.
There was a lot of him in there, for sure, for sure. And then on the Marvel side, like, you're probably getting what? The Guardians. You're getting
Oh, for
Thor.
sure.
You're definitely
Well,
getting Thor.
I mean, the answer to this question is just to look at the most recent MVC roster, where like what they got Hawkeye in there, and I'm sure there was a Rocket Raccoon in
I
there.
think there was.
Um, and then I know that like for Resident Evil representation, I don't know if Jill's still in it, but I know Wesker's in it now, and
There were
uh,
36 fighters in Infinite, and they were,
yeah, who maintained, who stayed? Obviously Ryu, and obviously
yeah,
like Spider
the
Man,
only,
Hulk.
not a ton. So you got Mega Man is still in there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Hayabusa from, or Strider rather is still in
Uh-huh.
there. Ryu's still in there. Morrigan, Chun Li.
Well, we gotta have the cuties, yeah.
That's it for Capcom. On the Marvel side, you got Iron Man, you got Thanos, the Hulk, Captain America, Spider Man, Venom.
Not
Every
even
other person is
Wolverine.
new. No Wolverine,
What?
unless he's just not in this picture that I'm looking at. But he's not on. He's not on
Oh,
it.
well, we would do bigger research, but that's not the game we're covering, so whatever.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look like he's in there.
You're telling
Uh,
me they left Shumagorath on the cutting room floor for the next game?
they sure did. They replaced him with Dormammu.
Okay, fair, I guess.
I mean, it's basically just Shumagora's boss, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, right, and it's like, okay, so it's not weirdly, it's not even like more modern characters on the Capcom side. You've got like Monster Hunter, sure, you've got a representative for that. You've got Frank West,
Do
you've
they
got
put a cat in
Dante,
it? The
dude.
Palico?
No, it's like just one of the hunters. Well, maybe
They
it's
sh-
like a background element.
they should have put a Palico in.
You've got Dante, who didn't exist at this point because the first Devil May Cry wasn't out until a couple
Yeah,
years
that's
from now.
true. That's true.
And then it's like, but then it's just weirdos. You've got Bionic Commando. You've got the guy from Ghost and Goblins.
Hmm.
They got some. They're. I think they're throwing darts at this company when they're picking.
Just spin the wheel, make a deal. They should put a Lady D from Resident Evil 8 in.
Yeah. Well, this would have been before that, but yeah, this
No.
I
We're
think it's
doing a new one.
crazy.
We're doing a new one. Putting in Lady D.
They don't have any of the characters that people like. The like top tier characters from MVC2 in here. Maybe that's why people hate this one so much. There's no Storm, no Sentinel, no Magneto, no Psylocke, no Cyclops,
No Rogue. Was Rogue in there?
no Rogue.
So she can't like smooch people. She smooches people in this
She
game.
does a lot of smooching, which is like kind of fun. There's a couple of characters who like are not great, but they're fun. I think Jill fits into that category where like she's throwing zombies at people, and I think that's kind of funny.
I like that she can summon the tyrant. I gotta be honest, that was my biggest selling point for her.
Well, then you should play Infinite because you can just play as the tyrant. Uh, man, it's. I do think this is a good game. I really do. Don't know that I had like a great time with it because I'm not the fighting game guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might. I mean, we're kind of coming down to the end of this. I don't think we got much more to say about it.
Right.
I think of the fighting games we've played, this might be my favorite one. Not by a ton, but I think it might be my favorite one.
I think all right, so let's break it down. We have played Dead or Alive 2,
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter 3. This is just the year 2000. So yeah, we have
Right.
also played
So
Street
Third
Fighter 1
Strike.
and 2. This all the fighting games for this year, right?
I would. Yeah, I think those are the only three from this year. Um, I would put this above Third Strike without question, and then I would be like, I haven't played Dead or Alive for a minute, but I think I would put it above Dead or Alive as well.
I would put it above Dead or Alive. And I don't know if I'd put it above Street Fighter 3. But Street Fighter 3, I didn't like the roster as
The
much,
roster was,
right? That was a big talking point that we had.
yeah, the roster in
And
Third Strike was really bad.
I just thought it played nice and it looked nice.
I did think it looked nice. I didn't care too much for the. I think this is more my gameplay style for fighting games. It's the sort of like fast hyper fighter. The like
Sure.
I'm gonna do a bunch of quarter circles and do combo. That
Yeah.
doesn't do it for me. I'm not having
No.
fun with that.
This one is closer to, and I'm not saying that either you or I do this, but it's closer to like button mash friendly a little bit. And
Maybe
I
it's
do
less
like,
like pre-written combos and more
sure,
like you have these moves and you're gonna make a combo out of it.
feel it out. I like
Yeah,
the training mode that this gives you, where
for sure. Yeah,
not only does it give you a space where you can practice pulling off these combos, but it goes in the technical aspect of it, where it shows you your and your opponent's hitbox, so you know who you're
right.
fighting
So
against,
you can see that Surfbot's like 2 fucking pixels tall.
and yeah, and all the screen, like it's showing you in real time the buttons you push and the order you push them.
Yeah,
So like you're
that's
like,
really
okay, so
helpful.
that's how that works. So that is, so if I wanted to put way more hours into this and try to get really good at it, like that's such a helpful tool.
100%. I think this, if you were trying to actually get competitive at it, I think this is
Mhm.
still a higher bar to clear
I
because
think you talked me into it.
the sickos
Uh,
are insane in MVC. I don't know the Street Fighter guys. I know that they're still up there, but damn, those MVC guys, they'll go crazy.
I think I know where I'm sitting on this one.
Yeah. Then
And
you can go first because I think I'm still playing with it.
I think out of our scale of it's 1 through 10, 10 being masterpiece, and then 1 being unbearable. Well, hey, we're not going that far low.
No.
Um, so for the
Didn't even
record,
give Daikatana a 1.
we should have though. Um, so I gave Dead or Alive 2 a 7, which translates exactly to good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I gave Street Fighter 3 a 7.5. And I was toying around 7-ish with this because I came away feeling like, yeah, it's a good fighting game, but it's bare bones as far as like what I'm going to get out of it. But the I don't know. So I think having that little training mode, which is an odd thing to latch onto, I know, but
Sure.
having
Yeah.
it and having it be as like fleshed out and useful as it actually is, we're like, man, this is cool, and I can teach myself how to actually play. Should I
Right.
put in the hours? Which I'm not
Well,
going to, but that's besides the point.
to play devil's
Um,
advocate,
mm,
I don't think that mode was in the original version that would have come out in the year 2000. So I don't know if that
oh,
matters for what we're doing because this is the really only way to play it today. So like that is the version we played, and I'm okay with that being the one we review because you're not going to go back and buy a Dreamcast version of this. You're just not gonna. But I just throwing that out there. I'm reviewing this version, but I'm just I want to have that out there so that we know where we're landing.
hang on, we're gonna look into this.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but it could have been. But it feels like a modern thing to me, especially with the hitboxes. You're not getting that on the Dreamcast.
That's true. That's a good point. Hang on, the training room, which I like it. I know it's like its own thing, but to me, it was like there's so many X-Men in here. I was like, it's the
Right, it's
danger
the
room.
danger room. Yeah, for sure.
The original release did have a training room,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. Again, you're probably right in that everything they probably tuned it up for what we were doing
I'm
here.
sure this version is in some way different, but the fact
Mhm.
that it did exist back then.
Yeah, it actually the training room debuted in Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Oh, so we've had it for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I retract my statement,
Uh,
Your Honor. I'll see myself out.
I'm thinking I'm sitting at another 7.5 here. I was originally leaning 7,
Mm-hmm.
but um also I don't want to take for granted 56 characters.
36 characters is
That's
a
a lot.
lot, and
I
they
think
pretty much all
I th-
feel different, with the exception of the Wolverines, and I think
well I was
Iron Man and Wolverine feel the same.
Iron Iron Man and War Machine.
Sorry, War Machine. That's
Yeah,
what I meant to say.
I was gonna say that too because I played them. I was like, okay, let's see what War Machine. No, Iron
Yeah,
did
that's
that. That's
just
the
that's
same
just
thing.
Iron Man. Yeah.
I think I'm going 7.5 here.
Hey, can I tell you? I agree
Yeah.
100%. I'm also going to go 7.5 because
Okay.
I
That.
think this is a really good game. I don't know that I would personally call this great. And while I 100% respect what it did like for video games, I know this is like a big historic one, and I do think it's really good and maybe was better at the time even. But I feel pretty justified in giving it a 7.5 instead of like, a 8 or a 9, because
Mhm.
even the people who are playing it, even they know like, hey, this is really broken. Like
Mhm.
the fact that there's only like 4 characters that are viable is not good. The fact that uh some infinites are so easy to land that in certain competitions it literally comes down to just who's going to get the first hit and that person's going to win, right?
Mhm.
Like that's not great. That's not great. It doesn't make it a bad game, but I think it holds it back from being a great game. So I think we're right on the money. I mean,
Yeah.
that roster's outstanding. I would happily play this with a friend casually for like a couple rounds before I decide that I don't want to be friends with that guy anymore because he whipped my ass for 10 minutes.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
So,
Um. Now we just have a little bit more homework to do,
okay.
and
All right.
I think it's gonna be easy because I think I know how we're both gonna fall on this.
Sure. What's our other
Uh,
7.5? I think that's where we're going.
our other 7.5 is Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I'm putting this below Perfect Dark.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Because I think I've even said I might have been a little too harsh on Perfect Dark score wise because of how early we did this in the ranking.
Right. We didn't
For us,
know what the rest of the year
right?
was going to
So
look like.
so even though I did give Perfect Dark a 7 and I gave this a 7.5, I still think I would put this below. I think Perfect Dark
Yeah.
clears
And
this
I
a little
think that's
bit.
totally fair. When we played Perfect Dark, we didn't know how bad Siphon Filter was.
Man, golly.
Well, guys, if you want to leave a comment telling us how MVC2 is actually the best fighting game of all time and that we're stupid and we should have given it a 9, I'll absolutely hear out every and any comment
Yeah.
about that you got in the
A-
comments on YouTube or on Spotify.
And as you're typing that comment, just keep in mind that Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, which came out in June of 2000, is currently our 4th top game of the year.
There you go. There you go. And we weren't going to put it above Dragoon. You knew we loved that one.
No, Dragoon. Dragoon's the man to beat.
That's the guy. That's the GOAT. That's
He's
my
the GOAT
boy.
right now. Until, we all know
Don't
what's
hey,
coming.
we don't know what's coming. We don't know.
Oh, I know what's coming.
We don't know
until
if there's
then,
a hero in time.
Until October, Dragoon is number one. Babe.
Number one, baby, with a bullet. Hell yeah. But this one, not bad. Had a lot of fun with it. You can follow the show on Twitter at RSR_POD, or you can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McGee.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
And until next time, everybody, play more games.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Press play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories intertwine. Come on in, it's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday. The fun begins, we're here to stay. Ready, set, replay. Come on in, it's time to play. Let's rewind to yesterday. The fun begins, we're